Hello and welcome. I am excited to go over your report of findings with you. I've done my homework on you and I've sat back and I've really looked at your details, and now I'll have a written report ready for you at that time where we get to meet. So in preparation of that, I really wanted to set forth what it is that we're going to be looking at, because I think it's going to save you time and allow us to have the best interaction on what your goals are and what we need to do to help you get to them. That's what I want to focus on at your report of findings. So I wanted to lay this groundwork with this video. So please hang in there. Please put away your distractions. Focus on this for just a moment and you'll get the most out of your report of findings visit. So when we look at health in general, we need to think about the Thrive formula. And in the Thrive formula, that's where we can, as you remember from the previous video, think about the foundation and the pillars. The foundation and the pillars. So we've got the foundation of the nervous system. The nervous system, so the brain, the spinal cord, all the nerves that come out from there, serving every cell, every tissue, every organ of your body. That nervous system is the system that helps control and regulate all the functions of your body. And it's influenced by the physical, chemical, and emotional things that we do in life. So our lifestyle habits. The foundation is the nervous system. When we have a healthy functioning nervous system, we have the opportunity to be healthy. And then when we add to it the lifestyle factors, that's really the secret sauce. So again, the Thrive formula is we have to have that healthy functioning nervous system. And we have to add to it then everything that the body needs, physically, chemically, and emotionally, while limiting or eliminating all the things, limiting or eliminating all of the things it doesn't need physically, chemically, and emotionally. And then we do that over time and we get to thriving. All right, let's dig in then, because we looked at a lot of things during your examination process. And here are some of those things. We did nervous system measurement in several different ways, one of which was with your insight scans. Now, in the insight scans, we're going to lay this all out to you. You're going to see your pictures. Everything that I'm showing you here on this video are example pictures. And you're going to get your core score. So if you see over there, the 81, that sheet that you're going to get tomorrow is going to have a number that represents what your core score is. And that core score is the efficiency index of your nervous system. Because we did 3 different measurements, and all 3 of those measurements then get weighted together to be your core score. All right, and we looked at all those things right over there that we'll detail right now. So we looked at your muscle function. Okay, the spine is, of course, part of your skeletal system. The skeletal system is moved and positioned by muscles. We want to know how well balanced that musculature is, how even it is on either side of the spine, and we want to know what the distribution of those muscles are. In this case, we want a distribution that has lower muscle tone up top at the neck, more as we go through the torso, and less than, again, as we go through the lower back. Just like we see here, you'll see, if you can see my mouse over here, this is the neck area, and we're looking at, again, muscle function tone. We're looking at the electrical activity of your muscles. Lower tone up top, but nice and balanced. Greater tone as we go through the torso or the trunk, nice and balanced. And then lower tone as we taper down towards the sacrum or the tailbone, nice and balanced. This is an optimal functioning scan, looking scan. Now, oftentimes, though, we don't see that, especially when a person has been living the standard American westernized lifestyle, which is incredibly stressful on our bodies. We see oftentimes something more like this, where when we have color that shows up on the scan, green equals mild, blue equals moderate, red equals severe. We get all this extra tension, and there's a color I like even less than that, and that's yellow. Yellow means low tone, where the electrical signal to the muscle has basically been shut off. And that indicates usually a more chronic issue. So we'll look for that in your scans tomorrow also. We also looked at your thermal scan. Now, a thermal scan is one that looks at the part of the system that runs your internal organs, your blood vessels, and your glands. The thermal scan in an optimal scenario is going to look like this diagram over here on the left side of your screen. That temperature along the spine should be nice and balanced. Balanced meaning it's the same temperature on the right than it is on the left. And when it's that, we know that there's good signal being sent to those nerves, through those nerves that serve your internal organs, blood vessels, and glands. When there's imbalance with that, it's going to show up as color. Again, the model is green if it's mild, blue if it's moderate, red if it's severe. And this gives us a window into a part of the nervous system that we don't usually feel with symptoms like aches or pains, those things that we've been taught to alert on. Oftentimes, more frequently, we will see things like digestive issues, immune system troubles, fatigue, problems with sleeping, emotional challenges, focus issues, all sorts of things can show up with this. But usually those aren't the things that we would go, oh, I should go see my chiropractor about this. But it's one of the most common things that we see clear up with people as they sort out their spinal issues and as they sort out their lifestyle issues. This clears up, and boy, life changes with that. All right, so that's the thermal scan. One more piece of this puzzle for the core score is the pulse wave profiler. That's the device that looked like that. You put your hand in it, and when we're measuring this, what we're actually measuring is the rhythm of your heart. Not the heart rate, not the blood pressure or anything like that, but the rhythm of the heart. There's a healthy rhythm of the heart that is variable. It's actually not like a metronome. It's variable. And that allows us to have greater resilience and greater adaptability to the world that we encounter, the stresses that we're under. That's what we're looking for in this. And there's going to be a printout that looks like this picture that I've just showing you over here. And this dot, wherever yours might be, will represent your data point. The ideal for that data point is right up in here in this target zone. And lots of times in our society that's very much go, 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 that leads us left of the line. And in our society that has us doing things that aren't optimal physically, like being more sedentary than we want, chemically eating things that we know aren't beneficial to our health, or not drinking enough water, hydration issues, and additional psychological stress, especially over time, will drive us down out of the target zone. So the further down, the further left we go, the less resilient a person is. All right, now we get into the x-ray portion. And we take x-rays to first help me confirm subluxation. I want to know what's going on with the spine so that I can identify where it's not positioned appropriately and then how long that issue's been there. And we base that timeline on the amount of degeneration or the severity of the degeneration that we see. And I'm going to talk through these things individually, but ultimately, looking at our x-rays can help us figure out whether a person's spine is normal, like the picture over here all the way to the left, or if it's in phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3 degeneration. Now, normal looks like this. And follow my mouse here because we're looking at a person who is turned to the side like this, okay? So we're looking at, there's the jaw of a person, there's the base of the skull, and here are the vertebrae. And those vertebrae are lined up in this beautiful arc, and that arc acts like a spring, okay? I'll turn my hand like this so it's the same version. No, anyway, that spring allows the gravitational forces that we have to be absorbed by our spine so that they don't have a negative impact on these spacers in between, or the discs there. Those discs act as spacers between each vertebra so that the nerves can escape out from each level and go do their work. It also acts so that the spine can be as fluid and as mobile as possible. So we have this beautiful arc leading right up to this very top vertebra that points up into the sky like this. And when we have all of that, that allows for the perfect canal for the brainstem and the spinal cord to hang slack in there so that there's no stress on those structures. That's optimal health and function right there. Now, In the process of subluxation, what we will see is that we lose that curve. And oftentimes it looks like this over here. We lose the curve. So instead of having this the green, nice, uh, springy curve, we've now lost it. And we lose then the spring protection of the discs. And what do you think gets affected first, the bone or the disc, when it's holding weight that it's not supposed to hold? If you said disc, you're right. That's the softer tissue. It's also a tissue that is designed for short-term shock absorption, not long-term shock absorption. So when we have long-term shock absorption, we start to see a thinning of the disc. This is why people say as they age, well, I guess I'm getting shorter, I'm getting older. Yeah, 25% of your height from your sacrum to the base of your neck are these spacers, are these discs in here. So that's why people lose height, is because they lose health in their disc. They lose that height. Now, can we retain that as we age? Absolutely, but we have to take care of our spine. Just like, can we have healthy teeth until we're 90 years old? Absolutely, but we have to take care of them. So here we are, we're in phase one, we've lost that curve. We've also flattened out this top vertebra, and that's not a good scenario. That's the beginning of an unhealthy subluxated pattern that creates stress response. It creates a nervous system that's unhappy with how things are functioning. And that's why we, down the road, lead to sometimes symptoms, but all the time a loss of health and function. So this is a completely correctable scenario. Usually it's been in the body somewhere up to 5 years, maybe up to 10 years, and it's completely correctable in a 4 to 18 month corrective period. And people do great with care when they're at this level. If it's not caught and corrected there, though, then it's going to progress to phase two. And in phase two, you'll notice that there's still no healthy alignment. In fact, we've got a reversal of the curve here. It could still be, though, just that straight arrangement. The hallmark of phase two, and you have to lean in a little bit, is that the bone here starts to change. That's the real key right there. That bone starts to change. That means that the problem's been there so long that the discs have narrowed so they're putting tremendous stress not only on the remaining disc tissue, but on the bone area around it, and the body starts to create that extra bone tissue to try to create some stability where stability has been lost. This is really common to see down in the lower neck and in the lower lumbar spine or the lower back, because when we lose health and movement with our spine, it has no choice but to do a degenerative process. And this is where we see it after the issue has been there, the problem has been there for a 5 to 15-year period. Is this still correctable? Well, yes, functionally it's still correctable. We are not going to erase the bone damage that's been done here. That's not the goal anymore. But we can get back to good curve. We can get back to good function if we approach the care plan appropriately. And this really helps a person's quality of life and expands their health potential so that they can do the stuff that they want to do in life again. It's a longer process, though. This is a 1 to 3 year process, but people still do great with care there. Now, if it's not caught and corrected there, then it progresses to phase three. And this is a problem because this issue is no longer correctable. The person has waited way too long. And what we oftentimes find is that this happens after a problem has existed in the spine for somewhere in the 15 to 20 or more years. This is what we would call phase three degeneration. Now, the fact that it's no longer functionally correctable doesn't mean that care's not, just out the window. Too bad, we can't do anything about it. But it does change the goal of care. The goal of care now is, okay, how can we help a person improve quality of life as much as possible? And what can we do to stop the process from progressing any farther? Both of those things are very important, of course, to an individual, but this is a longer term process, and it's unfortunately still a palliative care. It's still, okay, this is still going to be an issue forever. We just need to make sure we keep it as good as possible. So that's phase three. Now, lots of times this brings up questions like, oh my gosh, doc, like I've never even looked at my spine except for that quick look you gave me back in the exam room. You know, did you find subluxation in my case? Am I even appropriate for care in the office? Did we catch it in time? Like, what phase of subluxation am I in? And what do I need to do next? And that's the point of tomorrow's visit, or your report of finding whenever it will be. The point of the report of findings visit is for us to say, here's what your findings are, and here's what your goals are. And taking those two things, your goals, my report on your findings, and then we combine those things to say, okay, here's where you are. Here's where you are. Here's where you want to be. How do we start bridging that gap? So I'm excited to talk with you about that at your report of findings visit. I highly encourage you to bring a support person with that to be another set of eyes and ears so you can bounce all this information off of them, either at the visit and certainly later on in conversation. That's a really important piece to you getting the results that you want. I certainly look forward to being a part of your care as we go forward. I'm Dr. Chris Grier. I'll see you at your report of findings.